Today is the day that a lot of you that have been following the F350 build have been waiting for. How much money I have actually spent on the F350 build, and if it was actually worth building the truck instead of purchasing a brand new one. If you are new to the channel and this is the first video you are seeing, at the top of the screen I'm going to place a link for the F350 build series and also my newest build, the Hellcat build series. So you guys can check that out after this video is over. I have all the figures for the F350 build and we are going to see exactly how much this truck cost me to build. Those of you that have been following the F350 rebuild from the beginning know that I purchased the truck from an auction online, sight unseen. And this is where I ran into some of my most major issues with the truck, not actually being able to look at the truck. I wasn't able to see the extensive frame damage. All I had to go off of were the pictures that the auction provided. I didn't think it was as bad as it was, but the good thing about it is I think Ford sells frames. You can see right here, the frame has buckled where it technically is supposed to kind of twist when you get in a hard accident. After purchasing the F350, I opted to have the truck shipped just because I didn't have the time to go pick it up myself. One issue I had was the route was unusual, so the shipping cost was a little bit higher than expected. That being said, I was super excited that the truck was coming and I was going to have a 2017 F350 to replace my 2005 F250 that was so good to me for all those years. But the 2017 was going to have all those new gadgets that I desired. Now let's go over how much money I spent on the truck. I've been keeping a detailed spreadsheet of all the expenses, and everybody has been wondering how much the truck cost. So how much did it cost? It cost $30,538, which to date is the largest single purchase that I have ever made. And you know, when you're spending that much money on a single item, you kind of get like your heart kind of races. It's almost like its own kind of adrenaline. So the largest single purchase I have made, the Hellcat, wasn't even that much. So that's how much the truck cost by itself. After purchasing the truck, like I said, I had to ship it. Shipping cost was $1,285, which, like I said before, the shipping was so high was because it was in a weird area and it cost a little bit more for them to get to the truck and then bring it back to Colorado. After getting the truck here, I had to figure out exactly what was wrong with it and then order all the parts, but then I ran into a predicament there. I went through a local Ford dealership which ordered me all the incorrect parts. They ordered me parts for an F550, and then they charged me a restocking fee to restock those parts that they ordered incorrectly. After that, I went through an online distributor, Lasco Ford, and then they ordered me all the correct parts, and they were very awesome. I recommend them highly. There were a lot of parts of this build, and I don't want to go over all of them individually, and I'll just focus on the heavy-hitting items and then skim through all the other ones at the end. The second largest purchase of the build was the frame, and the frame came in at $4,885.17, which is quite a lot, but the fact that I didn't have to go to a frame shop and straighten the other frame, which probably would never have happened, and I would have had to section it and then worry about the whole frame still being tweaked a little bit. It was just that peace of mind that I really was after. I plan on keeping this truck for a long time, and with a brand new frame, I didn't have to worry about any issues in the future with the frame because it was going to be nice and brand new. The next item on the list is the Morimoto headlights and fog lights. I could have went with a factory headlight and went with a factory LED, upgraded from my halogens to a factory LED. The factory lights are a little bit more expensive. They're $1,600 a piece. And the Morimotos came in at $1,855, which was a lot cheaper than factory LEDs. Plus they're a lot brighter And the only issue with the Morimotos is they took 6 to 8 months to get here. In that time period, I was driving my truck around with no front end, no front bumper, no grill, and the truck just looked really bad. And once I put the grill and the bumper and the headlights on, I was in awe that I drove the truck around looking so badly for that long, which really made me sad because I drove my truck around for like 6.5, 7 months with you know, just looking like a homeless truck with no front bumper, no grill, and now it looks like a really dope truck with the new headlights and all the other stuff that I put on it. The next thing on the list would be the SCT tune and delete and JAMO exhaust. I wouldn't have it any other way. I really like how they function. The JAMO exhaust is a 5-inch exhaust, and it comes with the downpipe. It's all stainless, all very nice welds, very good quality. I really love the exhaust and downpipe. The SCT tuner, I have it on the Hot Street. I had it on the Race Tune. I mean, it really rips with that. And the other delete stuff, I mean, everything works very well together. And that came in at $1,200. Last but not least is the intake. I got an S&B intake, and I really love how it looks and performs. The one thing I was very drawn to is that it comes with a battery box. It relocates the battery behind the intake, and that's really the reason I bought the intake, and it drew me to it was I didn't like the intake further back than the battery. It was just, you know, it was just a catastrophe how it was designed. And now the intake pulls cold air from outside the truck. It doesn't have, you know, the intake pipe running under the battery. Everything is very clean and tidy, and that's how I love my projects to be and my vehicles to be. So that came in at $329, which for an intake, that's really not that bad. One thing I'm not sure how to price is the paint. Since I paint all my own stuff, I'm not exactly sure how I should price it. Most YouTubers or most people are spending $1,500 for a paint job, or anywhere from 15 to 8 grand for paint. All I had to paint on here was a hood, fenders, and a front bumper, which isn't that big a deal. And I believe it would cost anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 to get those done correctly, especially since this is caribou brown. It's a metallic color, and the paint and the clear were actually quite expensive because I used good materials. So that being said, anybody doing this may want to think about the whole paint and bodywork side of things. If you don't know how to do it yourself, you may figure in a little wiggle room into the whole paint situation, because I know it can get out of hand, especially if a car needs a whole paint job and you end up spending $8,000 to have a whole car correctly painted and bodyworked. And all these parts, the stock parts that I got right here, were from Lasco Ford, and they were quite a bit cheaper. So if you haven't checked them out, I would definitely recommend checking them out so you can get stuff you know, better than the dealer in your town is going to ever offer you. So the frame was the biggest purchase. There's a bunch of other, you know, numbers here and figures of stuff that I bought. They're pretty much irrelevant because, you know, I didn't label what everyone was. There's brackets and all kinds of crazy stuff. And I'm pretty sure that, you know, I could have probably used a lot of used parts, but I'm putting this truck together and probably going to keep it unless I get the right offer on it, which, you know, usually people aren't going to, you know, give you what you want for something. So I plan on having this truck quite a while. So we got all this stuff down here, and just to let you know, I have been keeping this updated. When I do buy stuff, I did buy a fuel filter kit and trans fluid, and I did add it to this list, and I bought these two things from the dealer here, and they probably would have been cheaper if I went through Lasco. So now has come the moment everybody has been waiting for, and that is what I spent on my 2017 F350. And the grand total for the truck, all said and done, is $47,012, which, if you look at NADA, is not a bad price since these trucks, the clean trade-in on them is $60,000. And finding one at the dealership would be around 68 because dealerships mark everything up. And then once you did buy the truck, you would still have to do all the mods that I did, the intake, exhaust, tune, and headlights, which would be an additional cost. So how I have the truck is exactly how I want it. If I did buy a truck from the dealership, it might not have been a wrecked one, but they also have wrecked trucks there as well. So this truck does retain a clean title, and I did do a proper repair with replacing the frame, so I don't have to worry about the truck later on, and it is a solid, safe repair. So in the future, I won't have to worry about the frame failing. So now that this is the end of the rebuild, I am pretty excited that the truck did turn out how it did. It's exactly how I want it, and this is the end of the rebuild series. I will still be making videos with the truck. I still want to do stuff with the truck. I want to do a leveling kit. I want to do wheels, around 22-inch wheels. I've been trying to find something that I really like, and it is pretty difficult with the truck. I don't like the dual fronts. I want to run normal wheels on the front, so it is kind of a pain with a dually to make them look nice and not to have that weird concave look in the front. So the truck will still be around on the channel. I'll also be using it to tow projects around. And if you have not watched the rebuild series, make sure to head over and check out that link, and you could go to the playlist for the F350. Also, currently I'm working on the Hellcat rebuild, and there is a similar playlist for that build, so go check that out. And thank you guys for watching the rebuild series. If you have not watched it, go check it out. And also, if you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure to smash that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, comment below, and as always, thanks for watching. See you guys in the next episode.